people choose Apple but not Samsung? Today we'll talk about the 3 important reasons why people choose Apple but not Android, and that will help us to learn a real life example about the importance of building a brand. Now, emotions. When people think about a brand, they always relate it with the emotions, what is inside of their heart. When you talk about a brand like Apple, okay, versus Samsung, why? When you talk to people around you, who do you think they have more resonance? They feel more related when they compare Apple with Samsung. Apple is more cool. It is somehow is just more attractive. You know, the design is more slick. It is more simple. It's just cooler. You may get different reasons, but ultimately that ties in to the fact that people have more emotional attachment to Apple. It's because when they buy Apple, they also buy into the core values. The vision that Steve Jobs had about the insistence on making a product simple for the users to enjoy it when they're using something very simple. Now, second point, functions versus the characters. Obviously, when you offer a service or a product, obviously it must work, because if it doesn't even do the job that it intends to, it is a failure. But when it comes to both functions and characters being existing, functions actually always come second. Now, in the case of Apple versus Samsung, both phones actually, they do very similar things, right? You can use them to install apps, and then you can do all kinds of things. But when it comes to the characters, Apple always makes people feel that it has a sense of simplicity. It is always the cool phone, because they always relate themselves to Steve Jobs about that insistence on making something very simple for everyone to be able to use. And this insistence creates like a character. And that is why the character itself, it already creates an advantage for Apple to overtake its competitors. Last but not least, I will advocate all of the audience to start thinking about building your brand starting today. And the most important thing that you have to consider is to build a successful brand. Be ready to speak up. In the case of Apple, Steve Jobs, he talked a lot in the public to let people know about the advantages of Apple and why they shall like Apple for its simplicity, and also how much work the company has put in to make sure that even any individuals without any education will be able to use the phone just because it's simple. Versus in the case of Samsung, can you even say out the name of the CEO? Well, the CEO haven't even talked once in the public. So being vocal about your brand and what you can bring, what kind of benefits you can. It's your responsibility to let everyone know how your product is going to make their lives better. It is your responsibility. Samsung CEO hasn't even talked once in the public, and that is why Apple gives more emotional attachment to the public versus Samsung phones. Today I talk about 3 important reasons why people feel more attached to Apple than Samsung. First being the emotions, they feel connected emotionally. Apple is a thing that makes them feel excited about. Versus Samsung is just like a machine. It's just there to do the work. Functions versus character, with functions being less important because you always want to have a character. And in fact, you can say that if you don't even have a character, you shouldn't even exist. Because the world, the marketplace will not be nice to you if you're the same as the rest of the pack. Last but not least, tell everyone how your product will make their lives better is your responsibility. Be vocal.